Welcome to the RVA Returners Podcast, your weekly source for all things Final Fantasy TCG. I like to just kind of ramble on. Okay. Just kind of break into things. It's just the way to do it. Like,
right.
You do the same thing. Yeah, you got to be like, you can't always be on. You can't always be Ron Burgundy. But what you can do is be here in Indianapolis for the next episode of the RVA Returners Podcast. Boys, we are back. And girls, whoever's listening. As always, I am your host, Chris Adams. With me, as always, Adam Lane. But it doesn't stop there. We've got a panel of just... Man, all I know is my heart's beating fast. My palms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. Awesome. So we're going to go around the table. We are joined by 2 out of the 3 members of the Triple Triad podcast. And a third. So really, we're going to do Scott Steiner match. So we got 2/3 of one and a third of the other. That's kind of a whole. So we're talking about Triple Triad. We've got Andy Carmona, Jonathan Ciordia.
We're here.
And we got Choker Bros member, Cody Snodgrass.
What's going on, guys?
Excellent. Not much. And we've got a very special guest as well. He is here, and we are actually live at location at Good Games Game Store. And that's Eric Davis.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Excellent. Eric, thank you for hosting us. We appreciate it. I know we hung out with you in Kansas City.
Yeah.
But here I am. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Normally this is where I go into the news, but we're kind of living the news right now.
The news is kind of the episode. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. The news is the episode. So what we're going to do is, we're going to talk to Eric a little bit, find out, about his foray into the game, because we actually met him out at Kansas City for the that Crystal Cup, and then we're going to just talk about this amazing event. I know some of them. We're talking about the sealed Crystal Cup that happened yesterday. The first flight of the constructed tournament happened today. And we're just going to talk about it, have a little roundtable discussion, because we've got the boys here. This is, if we had cold ones to crack, it'd be even better.
Oh, yeah.
But we're going to start. So, Eric.
Yes.
Talk to us again. You are our gracious host, so we always like to lead in with our gracious host. What got you into this game, man? Like, obviously, we've seen you at 2 big events kind of back to back.
Yeah.
Tell us, what got you into this game? What do you like about it? I should almost be letting Cody do this with his new his little interview series.
Choco Views.
Shout out to Choco Views and the Choco Bros.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, okay.
So, Eric, go ahead, talk.
Well, I could do this again for Cody, definitely. But,
I appreciate it.
So, how did I get into this game? All right, so about Opus 2. Yeah, okay, so we got to go back to Opus 2 here. Well, way back forward. So, we start, basically what I did was, my brother, he's developing his own TCG. And so we're doing research basically to make sure that what we're about to develop was not copied by anybody else. So that's pretty much how I got into Final Fantasy. But then I see it in the store because I come by this great store, Good Games all the time. And I was telling myself, Eric, don't get into it. I ain't got the money. Eric, don't get into it. And then I'm helping my brother out, being a good brother that I am. And eventually I was like, wait a minute, I love this game. I play tested it with the staff here, and was like, wait a minute, I love this game. I like it. Okay. Here's my wallet. Thank you very much. Give me like everything that you have on the shelf right now, and
put it all on my library
card. And after that, the rest is history. And I started my journey to the Crystal Cups after that. So
nice, man. Yeah. So when you say you and your brother are developing a TCG and you're trying not to, you're trying to like get like the best pieces from each one without like imitating.
It's like Charlie McDennis, man.
Yeah, it is Charlie McDennis. That's exactly what it is.
I mean, because TCGs at its core is player versus player. One player is trying to do something, trying to beat the other player. Sure. But there's different ways to do it. So we did not want to repeat something that was already out there. And while me and my brother my brothers actually have a whole bunch of experience in different card games, there are some that we hadn't touched. Final Fantasy was one of them, but also because it was brand new at the time. Sure. Again, we're back at Opus 2, and so I was like, look, I run into this game all the time at the store I walk through and walk at. So I'm like, okay, let me try it out here, and I liked it. And it was like, you know what, I liked it way too much. Truth be told, I really didn't even play the game that much, so like the actual video game that much. I played 7, 8, a little bit, and 10, and I really I think I got to maybe a little bit past the first major boss, and that was it. But I love the game system, so I'm a fan. And
yeah, I agree.
I'm a fan, and now I'm a student, and hopefully, eventually, I'll win a national. So that's what I get to.
Well, that's the goal.
Yeah.
That's probably the best segue we could have, because you're sitting here at a table with I count 4 good players in myself, but no, you've got the right people around you, and you've got a great scene, right in your own back door.
Oh yeah.
So keep it up, man. We enjoy seeing you. We've enjoyed having you around. We also do want to thank you for hosting us here.
Oh, no problem. Anytime you're in Indy, I got you. So
that's what I like to hear. It's all about the relationships you make. 2 of these out of 4. Yes. So now we're gonna kind of get into why are we here? Why are we at Good Games? Why are we in the People's Republic of Indiana? Why are we here? And that's Gencon's happening this weekend. Yes. Along with Gencon, Final Fantasy had 2 Crystal Cup events. First one being a sealed event. Second one being a constructed Crystal Cup.
Yes.
The sealed one has already taken place, and we all played in that one. We're just going to kind of go around the table and talk about how everybody did, since I just completely did the worst. I'll start with myself. I went 0-2 drop, but something magnificent happened, like before I even played a game.
Do you want to start off with telling?
I feel like we should end with that.
Yeah, we should end with that. Yeah, we'll end with the story.
You went 0-2 drop, and we'll move back around.
I went 0-2 drop. Cody, you're next. Yep.
So I will. We're Chris Adams. Went 0-2 and dropped. Next.
Yes. So I went 5-2, and my tiebreakers were not good enough, so ended up getting 11th place.
Oh, Cody.
A bubble, basically.
Yeah, because actually, it's something to talk about. So this is only a top 8 cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. This there was no top 16 cut, even though there was more people for this sealed event than there were at the Toronto Crystal Cup. So let's keep that in mind.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was quite a dispute online about it too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people got into it.
Yeah,
I would have been stoked if I could have got in the top 16, but I got my invite, so it's not too big a deal. I got my Furion box.
I do think that's kind of loose not having a top 16 cup, but that may be a story for another time. Because I don't know. We'll see what the backlash is, if there is any from.
I think it was a time thing, honestly.
I can see that because it ended late.
It started late and it ended late.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a big problem with the Gen Con line to get in, and we faced that too. So
we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah. I can give you the home story about that, but yeah.
Absolutely. So Cody on the bubble, but what did you think of this being the first sealed? Like, this is the first sealed event for Final Fantasy outside of like a pre-release.
Right.
So what did you think? I'm gonna ask all of you guys this as we go around the table. Like, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty fun. It was definitely unique. I'm not a very good sealed player, so I'm not used to it, but I had a good time. Did pretty well.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I enjoyed myself.
This set's good for limited. Eric, now we're gonna talk about you, man. How did you do?
Oh man, well I went 4-3. Mm-hmm. So. Truthfully, it was a good experience. The packs I opened up was good, and then we moved, and I know we're going to talk about this a little bit later, so I'll go into a little bit more detail about that later. And then the set I got was good. It was a good set. I was able to build a really good deck. I played well. I just got beat by better people, and it wasn't like I really felt like I didn't making too many mistakes, but the one mistake I made was what killed me and lost. So that made me feel really good. Just basically like, I handle myself against players who honestly got world qualifier mats, like these big special mats here, and I'm like, I got camera shy.
That's something that's hard for people to admit too. It's like he's basically saying I got outplayed.
Yeah.
And I need to get better.
Yeah.
And that should be the mindset that a lot of people have. Like, I mean, if you got outplayed, sometimes you gotta admit to yourself, that guy just beat me. Player to player, he beat me. So,
and I think we've all experienced that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but being able to admit it, I think, is the better point. You have to be able to admit that to yourself. It's like, if I did make that mistake in turn 4, that led to the loss, 4 or 5 turns later, that's where the mistake was. I think that sets the caliber of player that you are at one point to another.
Well, it also sets how coachable you are and what your mindset is. If you're going to make excuses that I didn't have enough backups, I never saw this, I never saw that, that one card's not really going to make the difference if you're just getting ranched.
Yeah.
That was for you, Hunter.
Oh yeah.
So all right, so Eric, sounds like you had a good time though. That
was my story. I had a great time, loved it. My very first sealed event, never even done a pre-release, so this was literally my first sealed event, and I did great. So I feel like I did great. 4-3 was fine.
No, Jonathan.
So for me, this was actually something really new. I understand that this is how sealed events are run in Magic, and I've never done anything of this caliber. And honestly, I was really surprised when we had to build our decks and then catalog them and then walk away from them, or walk away from our pools, our original pools, and then we'd end up with somebody else's cards. and I was actually a little upset about that because I thought I pulled pretty good, you know, and I'm sure we're gonna touch up on that again in a bit, but I ended up pulling at least I know I got one Estinian, the legendary, and then like 2 of each Dragoon, and then just enough lightning cards to support that for a sealed event. And so, you know, I wrote it all down and I walked away from it. And honestly, what I ended up with wasn't half bad, but it was just a little inconsistent. I ended up playing all colors, but just enough so I could. And I ended up. I guess the key card was Leo, and I wanted to use Leo to be able to play all the fancy cards. Like I had the Shock Troopers, the Kurls, and then I opened up triple Quetzalcoatl, however you guys pronounce it. And I think I did good. I ended up top 8. I had a lot of fun. I did play the player whose cards they left for me, Eric Bell, I think was his name, and I played him round 3, and I beat him with the cards he left behind.
That's funny.
So that was fun. But overall, it was such a great thing. And then Adam over here knocks me out in top. But
that was a good match. I actually enjoyed watching that.
Yeah,
on
it was
streams.
Yeah, and, I was also on stream twice, which was fun. But Patrick beat me on stream the first time in the final round, and then Adam beat me in top 8. So yeah, it was great. I had a blast.
That's awesome, man. Glad you enjoyed it. Now, Andy, Joe Cool over here. Tell me how was your sealed event? Talk to me.
It was kind of a shocker because, I mean, I played mono lightning, right? And so it was the whole consensus, and people thought I was gonna play. And to be honest, actually, I didn't get around to doing it. No, I think it's brutal, man. People love it. I love how brutal it is, though, because if you really start breaking it down, look, you've got 9 packs to go through, right? But they give you 30 minutes, and the rule is that there's no rainbow rule about the back row. Yep. You know, the color you play is the color, the element it generates. That's it. None of that pre-release baby stuff.
I know. This ain't the kids' table. You're sitting with Daddy at Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Finish the vegetables. So the thing is, okay, so I guess I wasn't paying attention because I was pulling those packs. I'm like, oh my god, Renault. Oh my god, Nidhogg. Oh, this is awesome. I'm like, all right, everybody, get up. Leave those cards there. That's for other people. I'm like, what? I just pulled godlike. I just used the old Lockwood double Kimari trick to pull all the good stuff and
slick.
Yeah, and then they're like, no, that's not for you. So I finally get to my cards. I've got no Earth. I've got no Lightning. I've got the Rebels. I've got Furion. I've got Maria. I've got 2 guys. I forget their name. Yeah, I forget their name. They're like 2 guys.
Okay, that's me. Got it.
And yeah, so I decided, okay, let's play the Opus 6 theme. We're going fire, water, wind. I ended up in top 8, so I was 7th seed, so that's not too bad. Adam destroyed me on stream. It was like the quickest stream possibly. I can't even
RB.
It was so bad.
I remember RB told us so you had 50 minutes left, or there was 25 minutes left in the round, or something like that. Yeah, I was like,
we're just going through it, and then he just drops the ice coral, turn 2 or something. I'm just like, okay, I don't really have any answer. I'm gonna drop a big body anyways. Man, what was it Furion? I think.
Furion.
Yeah, it was Furion for a while, and it's just nothing happened after that. The stream was over within 3 minutes.
Brutal.
You know. Brutal. But all in all, man, I love it. I love that brutality. I love the fact that it's really cutthroat, but at the same time, it tests everything: your deck building skills, your time management, the way that you know. Basically, it's all Opus 6, so you kind of know what people are gonna play depending on the element, right?
Yep.
Take that knowledge and just go with it, and the better you have that knowledge, the better you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Yep. So you heard that first. The more limited is something that you practice. You just can't pick up 9 packs and just build something if you haven't done it before. Now this game kind of mitigates some of that because the fact that you can discard cards from your hand. It's not like Magic where you have to think of a mana curve in line and play the proper allocation of lands. And I've never had that skill, but I'm glad to see you guys have it. I'm glad you pinpointed that. The fact that it does take a lot. It does have a skill. It's a very different skill set than constructed in a game.
Yeah, you don't show up and go, oh, here's my deck, let's play.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a very different mindset. So now let's go ahead and bow in front of his throne here. The big dog at the table.
There's no throne. I came up short, but it was still a great day. So I ended up 2nd. My polls were my initial polls were okay. They actually went to Cody. Cody had my initial polls.
That's funny.
And then
they were pretty good.
They were decent, yeah. And then I got to my polls, and they were pretty insane, honestly. Like, as soon as I looked over and I looked at the list, I didn't even look at the cards. I looked at the list first, and I was like, oh, there's 2 paladins. Okay, so we're playing water. That's happening. And then I'm like, oh, there's a playset of the 4 CP dragoons, 2 of the 2 CP dragoons, and a cane. Guess we're playing lightning. And then I wanted to play Earth because I had Cactuar and Titan, but that was it. That was all I had. My fire cards weren't very good. And then I played just enough wind to be able to play Paul because I had Paul. There was a Paul in my pool. And I had 2 Ramus. My summons are really good. 2 Ramus, 2 Leviathans, 2 Quetzalcoatl's.
I feel like you're overlooking the MVP of the deck, the one that put Jonathan on.
Yeah,
field.
so I was also playing Ice. Are you talking about the Kurosame?
That's exactly that.
And I pulled a Nidhogg.
I think it was more the Nidhogg, honestly.
The Nidhogg, yeah. So the Nidhogg was in my pool as well. That was the one legendary I played. Military Coral did a lot of work for me in Swiss rounds and even a little bit in top 8. That was what let me beat Andy, honestly, because he had to commit 2 forwards, and then as soon as he committed 3, I just dropped the Alcid, and that was kind of it.
Yep, and then again, your top 8 match was every game turn 2.
It wasn't even just against.
It's not even just the Kurosame, really. It's what happened after.
Yeah, so I played Kurosame turn 2 a lot of games on stream, and then he played. Jonathan played Kane turn 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And he looks at my face. He looked at my face and he goes, I know you have Nidhogg, just play it.
I read that Nidhogg the second I dropped the Kane. He has the worst tell. He cannot play poker, and I saw it in his eyes, and I just said, "Do it, please, so we can go to the next game."
What he dropped his hand. He started counting numbers, right? 6, 7, 8, 9.
He counted to 9 CP in his head, and it's
But
just
his mouth.
his mouth.
It's like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, as soon as he said that, though, I was like, damn it. I was like,
Mind you, you were running on 1 hour of sleep.
I
right?
was running on 1 hour sleep the whole day.
You're good with me.
So, you and the other guys are messaging me I don't know how you're still walking.
It was like Weekend at Bernie's. You just start playing music, he'll follow you.
I was working the voodoo bones in the back of the Airbnb.
So then after that, me and Jonathan's game was actually pretty close because game 2 he gets the gold wings out and I had nothing for that. I could not get around him. And then game 3 it kind of went fast again. I had the coral and everything, and he didn't have much answer for that. And after that, I was ready to play top 4. But then my opponent dropped.
Yeah, the guy who beat Hunter, once he made top 4, he just I'm done. I qualified.
Yeah,
he just peaced out.
He had some other event to go to, so he just left. So then RV comes over to me and he's like, "So you're in the finals?"
Nice.
And I'm like, oh, "All right, I guess I'll take it." So then I had to sit around for an hour and some change to wait on the last top 8 match to finish, and then the top 4 match after that. And then I had to play against David, who had your polls, Chris.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that right after I talk about this. And yeah, he played a Nidhogg on me pretty early. I had no answer, so I got demolished that game. And then the second game, I had the worst hand I've ever had in my Final Fantasy career, and I had to move to discard turn 1.
Ouch.
And it felt awful. And then after that, he played 2 backups, and then he had to pass the turn after that, which his hand had to be awkward too. And then he played a Nidhogg, and then I Nidhogged his Nidhogg, and then he killed my Nidhogg with a Cactuar or something. I can't remember. And then, I just couldn't recover.
It was actually a really good match to watch, though. I think watching good limited players play that format, it's actually it's something really special to watch.
The thing that I'll take away most from this is I used the 3rd mode of Leviathan more times in Sealed yesterday than I've ever used.
It was blowout.
Crazy. So I was playing Okimoto last round of Swiss. He casted the new 4 CP Bahamut, and I was ready to cancel his Kazusa because I thought that's what he was going to do, but he Bahamuts instead. And I go, oh yeah, there's a 3rd mode to this. I was like, I'll make it with my forwards, can't take damage from summons. And then Okimoto still had to take the damage from the Bahamut.
He still has to take the damage from the Bahamut.
And that was a blowout. And then I used it against Jonathan when he casted a Ramu.
Yeah,
that was huge.
That's what I think. Was that game 3? I don't remember.
Yeah, because I think he tried to kill my coral.
Oh, I tried to kill the coral, and that's when I fell off. That was
it
for me, honestly. That was the play that I was hoping to prolong in the rest of the match.
Yep.
But it was good. It was a real good card.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. So overall,
we'll loop back around to you.
Okay. So my actual experience, like I said at the beginning, I went 0-2. Didn't really care much. But what was really neat was So we're sitting down opening packs, and it's just 9 packs of just gasoline. Like there's what cards do you guys want to see? Like when you're opening Opus 6 packs for a limited event, what cards do you want to see?
Paladin.
It was there.
I want to see Titan. I want to see.
Paul was not there.
Yeah, I want to see 9 Titans.
Yeah, Titan.
Titan was there. Cactar was there.
The Golems.
Golems were there.
Bahamut or Neo Bahamut, depending
Bahamut was there.
Yeah.
Goon Squad.
Goon Squad was there.
Yeah, he had the full Goon Squad.
Kane was there.
So your pool was pretty nutty, actually.
There was also a Nidhogg. There was a Renoa. So I'm opening these packs in my head, like we're on the way up.
By the way, these are the packs that you opened, not the
the ones that I had.
That you got.
Yeah, the ones that I got were actually really good too. But I don't have that skill set, and I just wash my hands of it. But so I'm looking at this pool, and I remember on the write up we were trying to figure out like if they were going to do it where you walk away from it, or if it's like how, because in Magic what they do is the person you're sitting across from, you open your packs and you give them everything. They register your deck and you register theirs, and then you give it back. Like the cards you pull are your cards, unless they've changed it here recently. So, I was like on the write up, we're like, all right, cool. So don't get attached to cards you pull. We're not going to do it. And of course, I opened like the greatest pool, and there were some like really saucy foils in there too. I think the Renoa was foil. And I think there was like a foil dray. There was some dragoons in there too. I said this was pure gas. So before we get up, I flipped the piece of paper over, and I was like, I'm just going to write a funny Civil War style letter to whoever gets this. And I was like, to whom it may concern, I do hope this letter finds you well, but I also do hope you enjoy winning, because with this fantastic pool you have received, you will be winning. Warmest regards, Chris Adams. And turns out, that's the guy who won the entire event. So he came up to me after round 1, David. Shout out to him for winning the event. Great job, buddy. And he's like, yeah, I saw your note, man. I hope I built it right. Thank you. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. I don't think there's no wrong way to build it out of those 9 packs. You could just turn them all upside down.
Gold is gold. That's
what I'm saying, man.
Gold is gold.
And you dip it in the mud, it's still gold. But like, you can literally take all those cards, turn them upside down, and just pick 40, and you're fine. It was that nutty, yeah.
The funny thing too, it's I played David. I think it was round 4. He was actually my first loss, and I talked about this on one of our podcasts or on one of my videos, and it's saying that I really love the idea of opening the Kane, because the only dark that's going to steal him is the Nidhogg. And sure enough, not only does Adam do it to me, but when I played David, he also did it to me. Steals the Kane and removes my my pain, and that's it.
But it was the exact forward.
Yeah,
too?
it was the same thing. It was the
Holy
same
crap.
situation, but that happened to me twice, and I was just like, okay, so that's why I'm losing this this week.
Dude, that's nuts. Yeah, it was just a real nutty event, just a real good time. Like I said, I don't care for sealed, but I love watching people play it, because good sealed play is just an absolute treat to watch. I would almost rather watch good sealed play versus good construction play, because if the skill set's different, it's a lot more of a little bit more of like an analytical mindset, because you have to play with what you got.
You got to be really careful, like battle tricks and stuff in sealed will just like flip the game on its head, and you're just like, because I know like Jonathan started attacking to me, and I knew like once he started the way he attacked, I was like, he's got Quetzalcoatl in his hand, and there's nothing I can do about it. So it's like take a damage or lose by forward, and his forward lives. So I'm like, I guess I'm taking damage.
Yep, it's true.
So like
You have to pick your battles. I guess. You have to.
You do.
The timing has to be like spot on for sealed.
And it's also back, and I know that during y'all's match, I think you did Quetzalcoatl, then you did one, and then you did one.
So the funny thing about that actually is he had pain out. So I'm an idiot first, and then he let it rock for a second. Then he realized what he did. So I Quetzalcoatl pain, which you can't do.
Yeah, because you can't target.
And then he goes, "Oh, I'll Quetzalcoatl back."
Yeah, so
and then
so I would win.
So first he Quetzalcoatls my guy, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm like Quetzalcoatl your guy." Then he goes, "Okay, I'll Quetzalcoatl again." And then we all like put our stuff in the break zone, and then I go to put my forward in there, and he goes, "Oh, you can't even do that." Then he takes all his cards, and we put my cards in the back of my head, and I'm like, "Oh, my guy's dead. Okay, cool."
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, but overall it was a good event. Again, congratulations to Jonathan, Andy, and Adam on top 8. Adam, congratulations for second. Now you've got 2 qualifiers, or you've won 2 at this point.
Mine passed down to Corey from FFTCG.
Yep, and Corey's a great guy. He's actually the guy who won the Ohio Petite Cup, and he's the guy who beat me in top 4. So really good player.
We also got to acknowledge that Adam went undefeated up until the final match. Yeah, and that's not easy.
Huge.
That says a lot.
On the 1 hour of sleep, I will push.
On the 1 hour of sleep,
I will push that.
I was a really heavy sealed player in the last card game.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I was telling the guys that we're staying with. As long as I've been playing cards with Adam, he has been one of the best sealed players I've ever seen. And I honestly think I'll take anybody in this community. I think if you give them 9 packs and let them build it, let them play a set, just with what they got, I think Adam could just ranch anybody in this community in sealed. And I sincerely mean that. He's a killer when it comes to sealed. He's just always been that way.
Unless you buy the packs.
But unless I open the packs and give them to you. Because I've got that magic touch.
Actually, it was funny when we were Opus 5. If you go back and listen to our Opus 5 episode, so we had 2 boxes, like pre-release kits for Opus 5.
Dude, yeah.
And I was like, Chris, which one you want? And he goes, here, you take this one. And he goes, I'll take this one. And then I opened my first pack, and it's like Vaughn and a foil Birdman. And I'm like, that's pretty good. All right.
That was the one that was supposed to be for me. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the gentlemanly thing. I'll pass it across. And mine was hot garbage.
That was another.
We need to go buy some model tickets. I need to buy them for me.
Dude, it's kind of funny you say that. Like, I'm like Rain Man when it comes to doing shit for other people. But when it's my turn, I'm just like, nah, sorry. But it was fun. Seal was a lot of fun. Everybody had a great time. But then the next day was the first flight, or today I should say, was the first flight of Constructed. Now I know Adam, Andy, Jonathan, and Eric, you all played in the fight today.
Yes.
It was 6 rounds.
Yes.
Started at 10, which, boy, photo finish getting into the building.
Yeah, I
that's for
sprinted
sure.
to the table.
Yeah, we got ranched by 2 Ubers this morning.
We're going to kill that word. That word's going to just die.
No, it was ranch. But, yeah, so you kind of squeak in. Thankfully, they waited till they delayed it by like 15 minutes. Let's be honest, we're in a convention hall where there's just constant lines of people. Like the city had pretty much like an extra 200,000 people in here this weekend.
Oh yeah, easy.
So it's a big deal, and I don't think this is the first time I've ever been here, so I wasn't really prepared for like a line wrapped around the building yesterday. He's laughing. He's like, man, it's like Friday. So the way this worked. They broke it down very similar.
This is what I have to do.
Yeah, very similar to the way they did it in California. It was 2 flights. I guess I don't know if it was a spacing issue, because it seems like they had a very limited amount.
I think
of
they were expecting a lot of people. Honestly.
Yeah,
on the page it had up to 96 per day. I mean, for Friday and Saturday. So, and we had what 50 pushing 60. Yeah. No, we had like 60 something.
I think that's the same reason they did it in California, is they were just expecting a ton of people.
Yeah.
I mean, California, I think one of them filled all the way up.
And also keep in mind too, the one today was supposed to be bigger, but a lot of people went out and got a little saucy last night and went over to the second day, which was still fine because you could just make the switch. So you guys played today.
Yes.
Let's talk about how we did.
Okay.
Cody and myself, we're not playing till tomorrow. So we don't have a dog in this fight right now, but Eric, we'll come back to you. What did you play? How did you do today?
Well, I played 4-color, officially 5-color Warrior Light. I mean, so I went that route. The story how I got that deck actually came from Kansas City.
Oh, the Gunslinger deck.
Yeah.
Oh,
I played the Gunslinger deck, loved it. And I was like, I gotta do this deck. So I built the deck as best I could with what I had here, and then. But basically flavored it from
flavor to taste.
Yeah, flavor my taste to taste. And then, when I'm playing here, against my meta that I'm playing here. And then I was like, okay, I need to start answering some questions. Like, how do I go up against Turbo Discard? How do I deal with Diluting? How do I deal with some of the decks I know is going to see here? And great group of guys, especially my boys Noah and Sam. They helped me mill through this. Like, they just helped me like, okay, this is what you guys see. This is what you're going to have to do. And I felt very confident. Sure. Especially coming from KC. KC, my biggest take from KC was, like, I didn't feel like I got played. Like, I didn't feel like I got owned at KC. Every single one of my games, playing the game with Adam, was like, okay, I made one mistake, or I made 1 or 2 mistakes, and that is what killed me. If I can limit those mistakes, I'm on par with everybody in this community.
And also to keep in mind, like making mistakes against monsters can set you back so far.
Right. And
Mistakes in this game in general.
yeah,
It's very swingy.
right. But that was where I was kind of at. Was like, okay, how do I limit the number of mistakes? How do I increase my card knowledge? How do I increase my situational knowledge? Like, okay, he's got this, he's played this. I got this, I'm doing this. This is what's in my hand. What's the odds of that's in his hand? Or what potential answers do he have? And being able to play with that. Sure. And it's just, I mean, from a personal standpoint, it just feels like it's grown. Like, sure. I think today's my crazy story for the day, and I'll try to wrap this up. Going into this, this will be my wrap up. My game 6. I'm playing up against a player. I cannot remember his name. I'm sorry about that.
You're a terrible person.
I'm a terrible person for not remembering names. So, we're both 3-3. Winner, literally whoever. No, I'm sorry. We're both 3-2. The winner had a chance at 4-2 and could possibly hit the cut. You know, it's like you win. Your math now is in math's hand right now. You lose, you're done. He's playing Ice Earth. He has 2 4s in the field. I have 2 4s. One of them's the Fire Warrior Light. The other one's actually Warrior Light. The light one. Warrior Light's dope. And I'm looking, and it's on his turn. I'm thinking he has to break. He has to either break my forward or he has to dull freeze it, and he wins the game. If he does not do that, I have this game. And sure enough, and this is where I messed up at. I said it out loud. Like I don't think he knew what he needed to do. I knew what he needed to do. And I just talked it. I'm blabbing like a schoolgirl on this one. And I'm just like, this is how you can beat me right now. And he's just listening, and he realized, wait a minute, I have this. So he breaks something that lets him go. He breaks the ice back up that lets No, back up. I'm sorry. No, he breaks Mobius. Lets him go search for the Genesis. He has enough. He plays the Genesis. Go freeze my Lulu and swings forward, and that was game. And I'm just like, I literally talked you through that. And
that's what we call a turnover on downs, boys.
Like I literally just gave this, like, because I do not think he knew he could do that until I spoke it into fruition, and I was like, I gave you this game.
You got a little overexcited, man.
I did.
It happens.
I did, but that's my crazy story.
So you finished. So what did you finish today?
I finished 3-3. I was somewhere at 28, but 3-3. I mean,
500, man. 500.
It was 500. Yes. Yesterday I was 4-3. I did good. I went 7-6 this whole entire tournament. I'm good. I mean, and I held my own against some of the best players in this country that plays this game.
A lot of killers here.
So I'm good.
A lot of people were here.
Yeah, a lot of people. I mean, I played David. I played Akimoto. I played. I know I played at least 2 or 3 other people who came from out. I mean, who's already qualified, who's been to nationals, who's been to worlds. I played against these people, and truthfully, one turn mistakes that cost me 2-3 turns later. Like we can all go back to that point. Nobody blew me out, and I'm like, that makes me proud.
Sure. And so, you keep setting me up too, man. Because so you keep setting me up because you're like the segue machine. Because you talk about world-class players, ones that are qualified, ones that have proven themselves.
Yeah.
Jonathan.
Yeah,
Speak of the devil.
So I took water. I took mono water, and I was in between mono water and ice water Vikings, similar to Matiski's build, the one he took at the Pulse Cup. Mm-hmm. We were when his list came out. The list that I had is about 5 card difference.
Oh wow!
So I was super surprised. It's actually a friend of ours who just got his nationals invite, Alex, Rise of the Zillard. He was on our podcast not too long ago, but so shout out to him. Thank you for letting me bring it. Ultimately, I didn't play the deck, but I stuck with mono water, and I slammed through my first round. Like I think it was 7-1, and then I lost. My 2 losses were to mono ice, and I was really surprised because I was really confident in the mono ice matchup. But honestly, it just came down to bad draws and bad mulligans. And so for both games, the first one was against mono ice discard turbo. and he opens. He wins the dice roll, lets me go first, which I thought was strange. And to me, in my experience, usually Lightning players let you do that because they're assuming or they know they're going to draw the L-Sit, right? And so I go, great, I'll set up, and I drop 2 backups on turn 1, and then he opens Thermature or whatever his name is, 2 of them, and the Buckaboo. So I'm down to 1 card in my hand, no, 2 cards in my hand, and that was it. You know, I played Lena next turn, discarding 1, and then he just kept going after that, like the Sid Alstein, and it ran out of, like, it was out of control. But the mulligans were, I had the Layla, and I tried to mulligan for the Viking, or to get into something else, but I ended up with the backups, so I was fine. But then round 3, I lost to another ice. It wasn't the discard, and it was the same situation. The first hand had no backups, no Layla or Viking, so I mulligan obviously, and I get nothing. All I have is summons, and I think it was just Ash, which was fine, but my first turn had to be pitch 2 to play a mid move, which I drew into, and it just got worse from that. I really never had answers, and honestly, both of those guys made top, so they weren't bad players, and honestly, I would have liked to have seen how those matches had gone further, you know, but I drew terrible, like.
Too.
Oh, I'm getting to that one too. Yeah, I went 3-3 ultimately. My third loss was to the Mandarin Man himself here. I let him get on points on me because I wanted to blitz ace him so bad, just to put him in there. But I didn't draw the tightest after the plays. But overall, the deck, when I didn't draw bad, the deck did what it was supposed to, and that's good. That's why I brought it. But I just came short today. Fell short.
Hey, it happens. But you've got your national qualifier already. Now it's time to put this behind you and get ready for the big dance.
Yeah, I'm ready. I think I'm convinced what I'm taking, but I don't want to say anything yet.
Yeah.
It needs to be tested for sure.
Yep.
So
that's right. Play it close to the chest. Go ahead and get your tuxedo, get your corsage. You're going to the big dance, sir. All right. Now, speaking of, we're gonna go ahead and skip over Andy for a second. We're gonna go to Adam. Adam, how did we do today?
So I was also coming off 500 to just keep the feed going.
Man,
so I won my first match. It was against Mono Earth. I'm playing Urion J Mill, by the way, a build that me and Curtis have been messing on with since basically Opus 6 released, and it did pretty well for me, honestly. So the first game was kind of a blowout because I played turn 1. I pitched Paul to play a Riku, and then he plays 2 backups and passes, and then when he passes before his main 2's over, I go, hold on. I was like, I'll cast Phoenix. I was like, I'll target Paul. I'll play Paul, and then after that he was done. Paul got in for 3 points of damage, and
3 points of damage and 15 cards. You're done.
Yeah, so that was kind of quick. Then game 2, I had to play against Josh, one of the Virginia Beach guys.
Shout out to Josh, man, great guy.
Who's on a very similar list to me. We had kind of exchanged decks. His is a little bit different, but his is it's the same colors. But he's not really focused on like Urion J and like that kind of stuff. It's like he's still playing like more of the power forwards like Wool, and he had Nidhogg in there. And what crushed me was backup White Mage, because my deck has so much recursion, and now you just locked me out of like all of it, because you don't even have even if he dulls it, it doesn't matter because it's 1 colorless and break to remove something, and you can do that at instant speed.
Yep.
And he played 2 of them on me, so that was lights out. And I got and then Paul hit me twice. And, that was pretty much it. So then I'm 1-1. I'm still feeling okay. And then game 3, I draw Scions, and I just ran out of removal.
Oh no!
It was just like it was like hasty. Once Alisei came online, it was like I'll play guys and swing out, and I was like, all right, kill him, and I'll play more guys, swing out, and like, kill him again, and then it just became too much. And then like all I had was like a Dottaluma with no Cactuars, and he played like Thancred, and I can't even like trade with Thancred, so
that's rough.
Yeah, I just ran out of stuff, and then he got me. So I'm 1-2. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. Then I managed to like power back to 3-2, and then I had like a small chance, but I'm pretty sure even if I win, I probably still wasn't.
The early losses probably hurt.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure my tiebreakers would have cut me just short, and I lost anyways. Mono Lightning, and it was over really like lightning fast.
We love a good fun.
He played a backup turn 1. It was Nashu. Turn 2 was Hildebrand. Turn 3 was Alua. I finally, like 2 turns later, managed to kill Hildebrand. What follows that up? Another Hildebrand.
That sounds familiar.
Never heard of that card.
And I didn't see my big phoenixes, and that's like my damage removal. And other than that, like if I'm killing Hildebrand, it's just like I'll return that guy to my hand. Thanks. So yeah, I got blown out 7-0.
Oh, nice, man. Wow, man, that's
So I kind of dusted my hands off, got up, and I went to
briefcase.
and then I went to go watch Andy's last match. So then I'll segue that.
Yeah, I mean, you lost to Mono Lightning, you got blitzed by Mono Lightning. Again, like you guys are setting me up with these amazing segues. We're gonna think, Andy, how did you do today?
I got, what was it? I seeded 11th.
Sure.
Right? So I made it to top 16. They actually allowed you to do top 16, and then you play 16 and top 8 today, so you can move on the top 4 to Sunday. Right? Yep. So I just fell short just a little bit more, but I did power through because I did get 2 losses during Swiss. I did lose to Mono Earth, that was an awesome match, and I did lose to Mono Ice as well, but that was the Squall build.
Sure.
But I think it was like Turbo. I think it's Turbo because it was a 2-cost Squall, right? But I mean, the deck is just pretty awesome. You know, I don't fear it too much. I like it. I like to play against it and see how well I can find situations to kind of overcome it. Fortunately, I didn't. But made enough points to actually get to top 16. Sure. The Mono Earth matchup though, that was pretty dope because I thought I had it. I thought I was gonna get in a really good position. But by turn 3, we just went through so many answers and so many like removal because he went. I had a Zemus turn 2. My opponent went Camlanot afterwards, and then instead of like ending his turn, just letting it be, he goes, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just Hecatonk here. Yeah. So Hecatonk here 9 to 8. I respond with a Cyclops. He responds with a Zodiark. Yeah. Wow. He responds with the Zodiarc. So
was that against Sam?
Huh?
Sam.
Yeah, it was against Sam. Not to be confused with Sam Prime.
This is Hunter's boy Sam from. I want to say this guy lives in Georgia or something like that. Because I know he won the other qualifier in North Carolina the week after we were there.
Okay.
And he had a pretty good run at Kansas City as well. He was there. Was he?
Okay.
I'm not sure where he's from. But
oh, he's a strong player. Like amazing.
I think he's from Georgia. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure because I know Hunter was telling me that he was from like a little further south.
What's your phone number? He'll text you.
He better.
Yeah.
Oh, so if you put it on blast like that. No.
So that happens. I actually opened up triple Al Cid, and but I'm mulliganed into that.
Sure.
Right. So he saw that I pitched 1, so he thought, okay, it's safe to assume when that happens, you have 1 in there. So that's why he wanted the Hecatonk here and try to get it's as much of value out of that player as much as possible. But that crazy nonsense happened. So we actually ended up like we have no forwards and we each have like 1 backup, and then we're just like top decking from there. It's like all right, and we'll play 1 here, we'll throw 1 there, play 1 here, throw 1 there. He managed to get Emperor on board, which stopped 2 of my monsters. I guess I could talk a little bit more about my deck too, because my deck is not a traditional mono lightning deck.
It is definitely not.
No. So the list actually, if you look at it, you'd be like, what the hell's going on? There's no Adea. I mean, there's no backup there. There's no forward Adea. There's no Express. There's no Odin. There's no 7-cost Odin. Okay? And this one's going to be a shocker, and I hate to admit it, but it's going to go out live. There's no Hildebrand.
Suck the oxygen right out of the room.
I was telling him, I was joking with Andy. I was like, you should play the ultimate mind game, dude. Just play Nashu and don't play Hildebrand.
Ooh, man, put him on tilt.
That's how Boston went. I played Nashu, and I just never see Hildebrand.
Man, that's wild.
Right?
How does that make you feel?
I feel like I betrayed him. So I did something about my deck name, though. So I said, I named it, this is a filler episode in which Hildebrand is not featured.
That's a strong name. Name game is strong around these parts,
right? So going back there. So I don't have the conventional outs that you would normally see in a mono lightning build, right? So back to what's happening is that now I've got Twilight Odin and I've got a Colossus, and he drops the Emperor. I really don't have any much answers to that, and I hold on to my Exodus. I'm like, you know what? I need to start applying a little bit more pressure on there. So I Exodus, call 4, get the Emperor off board, proceed to just start hitting up a little bit more damage, but start being more conservative because I did see an EX burst Cecil in the break zone. So I go, okay, now I gotta watch out because if I hit him now, it puts him to 4 points of damage, and these guys are vulnerable. So let me just hold off on that, hit the brakes. I start losing from there. He starts gaining a little bit more momentum. He plays the Minfilia, which recurs the Camelot and the Emperor. Yeah, I just proceed to lose after that because afterwards his board was Wool, Emperor. What are other 4 costs that could be out there? Guy. I don't know the name of that card, dude, but yeah, some guy. Another 4 cost. So I'm there. I've already pitched my Exodus, and he's got 4 CP forwards on board. I'm just like, oh damn, man, that sucks. And I can't do anything with that. So I proceed to lose that one. So I'm pushing through. They have these horrible, weird repairings or something. Like we go to like the 5th round, we play it out. Then instead of going to the 6th round, I don't know what's going on, but they put standings.
Yep.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't get it. I don't know why so they messed those up, and then they put new standings in. Those initial standings, I was at 16th. I seeded 16th. I'm like, okay, I have to win my next one. And then they redo it again. I'm in 15th. Still, I gotta win my next one. So I ended up playing a mirror match.
Yeah, he played against Trevor.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Trevor, shout out to him. He's one of our returner brothers.
And of course, about turn 2, turn 3, he's got Nashor, he's got Hildebrand. And I feel betrayed.
Oh no, he's jumping ship.
That's it. He goes, you're not going to include me in your deck? Fine. I'll find myself in another deck. And sure enough, I see why he's a problem. But still nothing that you can't deal with the proper removal, basically damage. And that's what my deck has. So what I'm actually using now is I've got Maki to do the first strike, and I'm abusing cards like Colossus and Opus 1 Orlandu that can wipe the board with it can cleave the board for some damage, which makes cards like the Black Mage backup live. It makes Ramu just hit just a little bit more harder, right? You have the new Ninja backup that can hit just like Onion Knight, but it's now 2 CP instead of 3, and Onion Knight still being a card, right? But by giving those guys first strike, what ends up happening is now those guys can deal with, let's give Orlando, for example, he's a 7K with Lulu, he's an 8, right? So he cleaves for 3, it's not targeting anything, giving him first strike, he can now deal with anything 10K or below, with Lulu 11K or below. So it doesn't matter what's happening. So anything like Ash, Camelot, whatever it is that you might run into normally in Mono Lightning, that your answers are usually hard removal, right? Now all you have to do is just commit to an attack. So you're actually saving a lot more of your resources for different plays and different options, which is now confusing my opponent because he's looking at it, and I swear to God, he's like, "Where's your Deas? Where's your Odins?" You're anticipating that. You're not seeing those, right? What you are seeing when I'm playing is Cyclopses for the EX Burst, Kate Sith, 1 CP for EX Burst for gold, because the key that I'm trying to look for is for you to kind of like overextend with me just having like a Zemus on board, because what happens next turn is that I've got cards like Twilight Odin, I've got cards like Colossus who 0 CP, you can activate them, and one of the key cards also that I play is Ramza. So what I want to do is kind of set you up to where you'll have like 2 or 3 damage on board. You start feeling more confident. I don't have that much bodies to block with, so maybe you have 3 bodies on board, you swing with 2 and you leave one active, right? So my turn comes around and I can go, okay, cool. I could summon a Lua, I can pitch, I could tap 1, activate Zemus, get a Kate Sith out. I've now doled maybe the only bodies you have blocking or whatever, right? I can activate Colossus for free. Rams is a 2 CP now.
Yep.
And if I have a Lua on board, guess what? You're taking 5 points of damage.
It's a blow up.
Yeah.
It's a blow up.
Yeah, and that's basically a situation I've been always trying to create. So that last round I was doing Mono Lightning, and Adam got to see like what the hell was going on because my board did not look good. I had an Alua, I had a Zemus, and then I brought out an Annual. So Annual is another tech card that I would like to use because I think recursion is just a huge issue that needs to be answered. So anything that's using recursion, which is almost every deck, you need an answer to. So I drop him on board because I'm like, okay, if he's gonna try any sort of removal, because my opponent, he had Amon, so I'm just like, okay, I don't want to dole my Zemus anymore. So maybe I might put like something that might be a little bit hard to answer, and in my hand, it was either going to be that or what else was I going to put down? I forget. I pitched a 4 just because I didn't want it out there anymore. So no, I'm sorry. The board was Orlando and Annual, right? But I pitched the Zemus because I was thinking, okay, I think if he was going to dole something, he might want to dole the bigger body. So I decided to do that. But sure enough, he just goes and he doles Orlando instead. Right? So now his board consists of Amon, he's got Adea on deck, he decides to commit to Rydia, right? And what was the fourth one? I forget. It was Estinian, no?
Yeah. He had a Regalia, and then he played Estinian with 5 backups.
Yeah.
Saucy.
Oh yeah, so that was loaded, and I was at 4 points of damage. So then...
Yeah, because then he swung with 1, and then he doled with a Mon, swung with 1, then swung Estinian, then reactivated to have him up to block.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Yeah, so what ended up happening was I had 2 backups open, I had a Cyclops in hand. So he proceeds to swing with Adea, and I Cyclops so I can block with Elua. But I do take the damages from what's it called, Estinian.
Yep.
So it puts me at 6. I'm done at this point. So I'm looking at my board state, and I'm just like, man, what the hell's going on? How do I come back from this? And I don't know how. I don't know how. He's got 5 points of damage. I need to do 2 points of damage just to get him. And I don't know how. So I draw my 2 cards, that's all I have left, and I draw a Rumble. So I'm like, okay, damn, this is pretty dope. I think I got this one. All my guys are active again. I proceed to just go ahead and dole the Redea and ping Estinian for 7.
Yep.
Right, and then proceed to just attack with Orlando, who just cleaves for 3. And then, fortunately, no EX burst happens, and I just proceed the game. So that was actually pretty awesome. And I kind of forgot I had Ramu in the deck, because I didn't see him early game. You know, Trevor saw all of his, and I was like, okay, that's awesome. At least 2. I didn't see any more. But I started seeing them, I'm like, okay, these are awesome answers. I finally have it. So yeah, I take the win from under him, unfortunately. And
snatching victory from the jaws of defeat.
Yeah.
I love it.
But that means that's a lesson. This is don't give up. You know, the 7th point of damage is the 7th point of damage. Don't give up if you're at 5, if you're at 6.
Life is a resource.
Yeah. Exactly. So it puts me in top 16. Unfortunately, I'm seeded against Matthew Okimoto, who took me out in...
Never heard of him.
No, he took me out at Boston, so this is kind of like the salty rematch I've always wanted, but not really wanted right now. You know, I kind of wanted it more further down the road.
Sure.
I did get to play against his wife also, who participated. She's a sweetheart, man. She was supposed to play Mono Lightning, so it was really cool to play the mirror. And once again, she was looking at cards that I was playing. She's like, what is this? What does that do?
Opus 1 Orlando.
Yeah.
That's not the right art.
Wait a minute.
Actually, I ended up playing her too, also. And I won against her. I didn't know who she was until she walks up to Akimoto, who I played. Actually, I played him round 1 yesterday.
That's fun.
Yeah. And then,
family affair.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oh god, this is revenge. I was because. Against Akimoto, I actually went. I think I went 5 and 7. He beat me 5-7 in Seal. But then I turned around and I just knew how to play against the deck. I'll just say it like that. It was a good match. But yeah, and I'm looking. I was like, I'm so sorry. It was like I was just like,
you're on the list.
I am on the list.
But there are cards. So it goes back to my point. Like there are cards that you anticipate that you know with that matchup. You anticipate the Hildebrand, Odin's, Idea's, the Red Mage backup.
I'll see combination. You're just ready for it. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I was running none of that.
I'm sorry.
I was running none of that.
Except for Alcid.
Yeah, except for Alcid. You have to. I know I posted a thread because I was having this existential crisis.
I mean, it might get to that point one day. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But I think it might at some point. You don't think so? No.
Cody's
shaking his head.
No way. No. I just think the backup is really good too.
That backup is
Alcid.
good.
But I think it's left that
It was a killer.
Oh yeah. That won me 2 games.
I saw a lot of games won because of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I won a game because the guy did it to me, but I had Riku, and it has to choose 2.
Yep.
So he couldn't actually do it against me, and I won because of that.
Yep.
So I guess I should have done a disclaimer because I don't actually want any credit for that, the way I piloted that deck or thought about how to use it, because I actually drew inspiration from the Idaho winner. Right? I do apologize. I don't remember his name.
His name is like Bo. Bo something. Yeah, I know his first name is Bo. I think his last name begins with a D, like Bo Davis, Bo Durst, Bo Dixon, something like that.
Maybe it's just Steve.
No, I know his name is Bo. I 100% know his name is Bo.
I did see what he was trying to do. Like I understood the deck. I understand why it worked, and I threw my little twist in there. You know, maybe 6 or 7 card difference, but at the end of the day, when you have a deck that's optimized to answer Vikings, and then it just does mono lightning things regularly against other decks, you think, okay, that's a pretty good choice. And so I stuck with it. You know, it was pretty good. But yeah, definitely shout out to him because that's definitely something that nobody else is doing. That's,
so unexplored.
Yes, it's very unexplored, but those cards are really good. It kind of makes you want to branch out to other cards as well. You know, that's always a good thing. So, long story short, played against Okimoto.
Bo Shields was his name. I was so close.
Bo Shields.
I knew I recognized the name because on our podcast I said something that like Lightning hasn't won anything yet. And Sam's like, oh, but it won this. I was like, oh, yeah. I didn't even see that.
That's on my sheet. Sam, do we have the same sheet?
Shout outs to Bo Shields for topping with Mono Lightning.
Yeah, man, and inspiring, you know, other mono lightning players as well, like myself, to explore other cards because that was definitely a great meta call. So definitely shout outs to you. You should be definitely proud of your victory because that's definitely something that nobody expected. That was pretty awesome, and I was really feeling confident in your choices to bring to this Crystal Cup.
Sure, absolutely. And so overall, good day, good weekend for everybody. Andy, you and I are in the same boat, man. We're like. We're there.
Okimoto destroyed me, man. He went 2-0. He nid-hogged Renoa.
He just went to town.
Afterwards, he grabbed my cards. He threw some in the air, and he started stepping on them. True story.
Say goodbye to Exodia. He said
he cut one down or something. And, you know,
he put you in the Lex Luger torture rack.
I saw him elbow drop like. My
Okimoto off the top rope.
That's right. You're scaring younger players like myself in this one. Seriously. Like, I'm like, oh God, no, not him.
He came to hug me, but he's thinking like groin punching me
low blow, flare low blow. You got it.
The Okimoto heel turn, dude.
He put me where the timer was. He got me in the curtain call. You just
oh my God. No, man, it's rough. That is rough. But
I want him to feel bad. I feel bad if he's listening to this, but at the same time I don't. I mean, it's no hard feelings. It is what it is. But yeah,
at the end of the day, great players. But that's I know you telling that entire story. I was over here with my polio blanket on because I could listen to you talk about mono lightning all day long. You are truly a master of that element. So don't get discouraged that you haven't hit that yet. Because if there is one player in this game that has not qualified yet, that I'm trying to work my magic on you right now that will qualify long before nationals. It's Andy Carbono.
With or without mono lightning?
I 100% think you do it with the tools that got you to where you are now. Yeah. You don't. You don't lose faith in how you've established yourself. But I think I think you need to go back and have the I can change baby conversation with Brand.
Yes.
You need to sit him down, take him out to dinner, buy him a couple drinks, put the rose petals leading into the bedroom. you and him need to have a heart-to-heart.
Take that picture, please. Just look at the card.
Yeah. All right, done. Deal. Boys to Men playing in the background. It's time to have that talk.
It's like the Wolverine picture with the...
Yeah, it's Wolverine. That's going to be made soon. Can we make that into a playmat?
I'm sure we could.
Man.
Oh, man. But yeah.
Sounds like we got a project here.
Yeah. Those are definitely going in the thought journal.
Yes. Dear diary. I made a mistake this weekend. One I shall never make again.
If you're listening to this.
If you can find it in your heart to forgive me, Mr. Hildebrand, I will never do the Manderville dance without you. I promise. The end.
Yeah, man. But I mean, overall, it was just still a great experience to just.
Absolutely. And the difference is they did cut to the top 4 for today. And those top 4 are, so we've got Matthew Okimoto, Devin Weisbacher, we've got Jeremiah, I'm going to butcher his last name, Tones. And we have Spencer. We have some VA love in the first top 4. Shout out to Spencer, man.
Spencer's on Earth, Wind, Warrior of Light.
Ooh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, some real saucy
He's
stuff.
playing Arc, Legendary Warrior of Light, and Wool. that whole deck.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Some real
Well,
sauce.
there's some real interesting decks too, because isn't Devin playing the?
I think Devin's playing like 5 colors.
Yeah, I think if I'm pretty sure he I saw that deck and it runs. I don't know if I should say what it runs right now, or is he's gonna.
Well,
play.
the list will be posted.
Yeah, the list.
Okay, yeah.
By the
And by the time this is out,
Oh, that's
it'll
true
be
though.
over.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, he's running the new Sid engine that searches for the emotes.
Oh yeah, Sid 2.
I think that's
Sid
so
2.
dope. That card is so underappreciated right
Card's
now.
good.
And pretty much from what I saw, like he had lent his deck to somebody else, and they were just, aside from having the chaos, he searches the color he needs, because I think I saw red, yellow, and the blue invokers or whatever, and he was just doing whatever he wanted, and I was like, I need to
so
see
smart.
more about this deck, and then I find out that he's in top tables, and now top 4.
Oh.
It's crazy! I can't wait to see that list.
Who's the last one? Was that? Oh, that was Spencer. Was the
Yeah,
last one.
Spencer was the last one, and I know obviously we know Okamoto.
Yeah, it's on water ice.
Jeremiah, I'm not sure what he's on.
I don't know.
And then Devin, see how we just talked about. I know he was up in Ohio, the Petite
Him
Cup,
and
I
his
believe.
brother. Him and his brother.
Yes.
They all do the FF. They're all FFTX guys.
Oh, awesome.
I believe.
Yeah, I know they're all part of the team. They were on the team.
Yeah.
They had like jerseys at last Nats, and Devin actually went on to top 4 Nats and went to Worlds last year.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, they're all good players.
Yeah, he's a very, very strong player. So that's where that's at. And tomorrow we're going to do the same thing. Cody, you and I get to finally play some cards and Constructed this weekend. How do you feel?
I'm feeling all right. I haven't figured out what my deck's going to be yet. I've narrowed it down to about 6 choices now.
Sounds like you might be calling the old Adam's Audible.
It was 9 not too long ago, right? 9 choices. Oh, we got it down to 6.
2 days ago, it was 12.
Oh,
It was a spicy 12.
Progress.
It was
We're making progress.
Yeah,
It's good.
we're gonna grind out a few more hours, and get down to 5.
For sure. I definitely know what I'm playing, and I feel very confident with it. I got to really explore the Mono Lightning matchup with Andy a little while ago. It was a severe ranching, but it's one of those things though that lets you you start to see the mindset, because I don't mess with lightning cards. So when I can get the perspective of the person that does play those cards, like I'm doing this because of this. I know you have this, or I know you have access to this, so I'm going to do this. And it's neat to see that mindset. That's why I like playing against you guys, because there's a bunch of good players sitting at this table. So everybody has their own perspectives on how they do it. It's always good to get those fresh eyes on something. So yeah, hopefully when we do the next episode, we'll have some more good news to keep going with. Adam finishing second. Hopefully, maybe Cody will get some buys. Maybe I'll get my qualifier. I know a lot of the good players play today. There's still no joke. There's some killers tomorrow too. We have Greg Cole playing tomorrow. Hunter Nance is playing tomorrow. Somebody named Cody, I believe, is playing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, never. Matthew Rice is playing tomorrow.
Matthew Rice is
Rice
playing
Fields.
tomorrow.
Yep.
Yep, we got Rice Fields in the building. I'm playing tomorrow, but no one gives a shit about me. I'm kidding. Okay, I'm more harsh on myself than I should be. But tomorrow is still just as stacked. This was a field full of killers, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone came from everywhere.
Yeah, Gencon's a huge event, and if you're listening to this and you haven't had a chance to go, this is my first year going to Gen Con.
Same here.
Yeah, same.
It is so much fun, and I'm a big tabletop gamer and board gamer. I just like things that enable me to drink without saying I want to go to a bar and drink. I can just activities that you can include in it. So just going around seeing all these different vendors and all these booths and all these amazing cosplays and all these just card game communities and tabletop communities all under one roof. It's a blast. It should be experienced. Get a 4-day badge, pay the $110, $120, whatever it is, to get the 4-day badge, and just experience it for yourself. And we're just glad to kind of have a little slice of this for ourselves. So it's really, really nice. But I think that's where we will wrap this episode up. I want to thank every single one of you for being on. Eric, thank you for and shout outs to Good Games for hosting us, letting us kind of get our own little nook here. You can probably hear in the background. There's it is Friday, so F&M is going on.
Yeah, we got F&M. It's Gencon, and this is the closest game store.
It's gaming weekend.
Yeah, it's gaming weekend.
Sure.
Yeah, this is heaven for us right now. So this is our town right now. So
Absolutely.
Yo.
Shout outs to Cody for being on. He was pretty much here with the PDA next to me. Anytime I had a question, I wonder where they're from. He's just boom, right here. He's been my own personal Palm Pilot. It's been great.
Anytime.
The Choco Bros conditioned him to
They did. They got you with the go for this. You're going to be getting their coffee and everything and Nats. Don't worry.
I hope not. No.
Nah, you'll be all right.
But,
Pretty soon they'll be shining your shoes. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
No, and of course, thank you, John and Andy, for being on. The Triple Triad. Finally got to do this in person. I know we've done a crossover episode before, but there's just nothing like sitting at the table with each other and just hanging out and just shooting the shit, man.
I just get lost in your eyes, man.
I get lost in your sunglasses.
I didn't realize, and I just kept them on first. And I was like,
Joe Cool over here. I love it.
It's like, yeah, man, podcast.
Just got the scar flapping in the breeze like a mocha frappuccino in front of him. Hipster status. I love it.
Exactly.
I love it.
It's like Odin. Oh, that's so
paltry. Second drop Odin in this deck. How fiendishly droll.
So we are going to conclude as the RVA Triple Bros.
The RVA.
It's like a transformer.
The good RVA Triple Bros. Because you got to throw good games in there.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
That's a mashup right there. That's the best crossover.
Best mashup since Jay-Z and Linkin Park. I'm going to end it on that.
I agree.
So yeah, see you guys next time, I guess.
Yeah, see you next time.
See you next time.
Later.
Hey guys, welcome to the podcast.
Hey everybody, thanks for listening once again to the RVA Returners podcast. If you like this content and you want to hear more, check us out on YouTube at RVA Returners, and make sure you follow us on SoundCloud and check us out on Google Play and iTunes.